and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Michael. First, I wanted to say thank you to all of you who have been tuning in, watching the videos, sending comments, just really being a part of what we're trying to do here. I really appreciate it. All of you who have sent in ideas and suggestions, as well as ideas and suggestions for future episodes, thank you so much. Keep them coming. It's only going to make us better. I also want to just point out again, if you've watched our videos, we have a new logo. You saw it tonight. It was created by one of our viewers and a friend of mine, Nelly. Thank you so much, Nelly. I really appreciate the logo. It looks great. It makes the videos just that much better. So again, the more stuff people join in, and the more that we can make these even better, and just really get and have a lot of fun and get more people watching. So again, so thank you all for subscribing. If this is your first time watching, please subscribe. And of course, if you know anybody who could benefit or would like the videos, send it to them, have them watch a few and subscribe as well. So tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. If you've watched our episodes, it's all a bit about date night dinners, which is what we're still going to do. This is a date night dinner, but date night dinners don't always have to be, fancy. They don't always have to be, pork tenderloin, stuffed. They don't have to be crab cakes, things like that. Tonight, we're going to do a simple pub food, beer battered fish, with french fries on the side. So again, nothing special, and it seems like it's going to be pretty hard to do. It really, really isn't. You're going to see in the video tonight, it's really not hard to do. So sit back and watch. We're going to do a couple of things first, get it ready. But before we do that, I did want to say, of course, thank you to my wine guy, Andrew, who has always provided us the Pinot Grigio. If you've watched our videos, it's all about the Pinot Grigio. But tonight, because we're doing something a little more pub-like, we're going to use beer. So first things first, I'm going to open my beer. I'm going to reach over here, kind of out of frame just a little bit. And we're going to open the beer as I figure out how to get the... There we go. So my wine guy is also a beer guy, so thank you again, Andrew. We're going to drink... we're going to use Modelo, again. One of my more favorite beers to drink. It's a good beer. Nothing wrong with beer. Beer goes with everything. So, and then we're also going to use a bottle of Modelo in the beer battered fish. So I'm going to show you how to make it, show you how easy it is. We're going to have some fun doing it, and just hopefully you'll love this video as well. So thanks again. Sit back, relax, and watch our next installment as we get going here. When we come back from break, we're going to show you how to make the batter, and then we'll show you the fish, and then we'll go from there. So again, thank you. Sit tight, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Okay, and we're back. Before we do the batter, though, we are going to cook the french fries. Now, I'm not actually going to... That's Phoebe in the background. You can hear she's barking and letting us know that she is still here, and she's watching our videos from afar. So, hi, Phoebe. Glad you're here. All right. The french fries. I'm going to bake them, actually, as opposed to using them and deep frying them. I know it sounds kind of weird because they're going to be deep frying the fish, but I'm going to bake the french fries. I just like the taste better for home french fries than if you're doing deep frying. I know several of you out there are probably now cringing going, he's baking the french fries. Yeah, he's baking them. So those of you, especially in California, who are just shaking your head and probably face-palming yourself right now, sorry, that's what we're going to do. So, but of course you can deep fry them as well. So I'm going to preheat the oven to 450, and then I'm going to put them on a cookie sheet and just stick them in the oven, and they're frozen. Get out of here. I'm going to use, from my favorite store, Aldi. Aldi. Keep in mind, I still like you to sponsor me. Aldi French fries. I'm going to put probably about half the bag on there and then just cook them. So I'm going to go ahead and preheat the oven at 450 and get that started while we're doing that. When it's done preheating, I'll stop making the batter and I'll put the French fries in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this down and I'm just going to kind of show you what it all looks like. All right, so give me just a second here. I'm going to move this down. I had to do a little adjustment there. Okay. All right. Okay, so we've got our bowl. Okay. The batter is pretty simple. Okay. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take a cup of flour. So I'm going to reach over and grab my Aldi flour. Again, Aldi. So I'm going to take my Aldi flour, and I am going to let me move that out of the way. And then I'm going to just open up the bag. It's actually a new bag because my wife has been doing a lot of baking lately. She makes homemade Play-Doh for the kids, and it takes a lot of flour, but she loves doing it, and the kids love it too, and it's so much cheaper. But anyway, that's a different episode. So 1 cup of flour. So if you've watched my episodes before, you know sometimes I don't always know where all my measuring stuff is. So I only could find the half-cup measuring cup. So I'm going to take 2 half cups to make the cup. Okay. I'm going to put 1 half cup in there. And another half cup, and that gives me 1 cup, okay? I'm going to put this aside. All right. Then I'm going to take, my next item is paprika. So just simple paprika, okay? And paprika is going to be 2 tablespoons of paprika. So I actually know where my tablespoon is. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of paprika. Basically just fill up the... Okay, there's 1, and there is 2, and that's pretty much all I've got left. So I actually had just enough paprika left, so I guess Aldi, here I come for more paprika. So 2 tablespoons of paprika. Then I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. Again, Aldi brand garlic powder. Just garlic powder. It says Simply Nature Organic. I really don't have any preference of organic versus non-organic. It just happened to be all they had. So anyway, so I'm going to fill this up with 2 tablespoons. Okay. That's 1. And we go ahead and do a second one. All right, so 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. Then I'm going to do salt and pepper. Okay, I'm going to use salt and pepper a couple of times throughout this. Oh, my cat's coming this way. I'm going to move the cat out of the way. First of all, we're going to say, "Hi, kitty." That's Flounder. So we're going to move Flounder out of the way. Okay. All right. Back to this. So I'm going to take 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. Okay, I'm actually not really going to measure it. I'm just going to basically put it in my hand. Okay, and just that. Okay, and I'm going to take pepper, and I got to get my pepper grinder, and I'm going to put in approximately 2 teaspoons of pepper as well. Okay, with the grinder, you just kind of have to guess. Again, it's about the taste as well. We always talk about symphony, not a solo, kind of mixing everything together. But so, we've got salt, we've got the pepper. Now I'm going to get an egg. So I'm going to reach over and grab my egg. Okay. Just 1 egg. So we're going to put that in there. Okay. Wipe my hands off. And the last but not least for beer batter, I'm going to grab a whole bottle of Modelo. You want to use basically just 1 12-ounce bottle of beer. Because that's going to be certainly more than enough, for the batter for what we're going to do. So I'm going to open up the beer, and I'm going to pour the whole beer into the mixture. You can see it definitely fuzzes up, but that happens when you have any kind of beer if you pour it too quickly. So we're just going to pour it in there, and that's it. Now, very simply, move that out of the way. I'm going to take a sip of my other beer, by the way. The one that's for me. I'm going to take a spoon, and I'm just going to mix this up. Okay? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it up. The batter will be thin, and that is really what you want, because when you do the fish, the oven is preheated. We'll put the fries in here in a minute. When you dip the fish in here, what you want to do is you want to make sure that the fish is still see-through. What I mean by see-through is you can see the fish through the batter. It should not be covering the fish so much and should not be so thick or so dark that you actually are now just seeing batter and no fish. So we're going to keep stirring it up, and this takes just a couple minutes of the stirring. But that's kind of what it looks like. You can see there's still some more lumps in there, so we're going to keep doing that. While we're doing that, I'm actually going to take a quick break. I'm going to put the fries in the oven. Don't really need to show you that because I'm sure that reading the instructions on the fries bag is pretty easy. So all I'm going to do is just put the fries in the oven on a baking sheet and go from there. So I'm going to stir this some more, but I'm going to stop here. I'm going to put the fries in the oven, and then I'll come back and show you what the batter looks like when it's all done and stirred up, okay? So sit tight, we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. I put the fries in the oven and set the oven for about 15 minutes, and then I'll check to see. Obviously, they're done when they're not frozen anymore and they're a light golden brown. As for the beer batter, you can see it's very thin. It's soupy. And that's really what you want. You want it to be soupy, okay? So I'm going to take this and move this aside. I'm going to move it out of frame here for a moment. I'm going to bring my cutting board in. And I just tripped over my dog. So, sorry, Phoebe. All right, bring my cutting board in. I got my knife, got my cutting board. And now we're going to cut the cod. And that's what I'm using, by the way, is cod. I'm going to put this back up here real quick. Hi. All right, so cod. There's been some discussion about whether or not cod is a real fish or if it's a generic name for a typical white fish. There really is two different types of cod. And I'm flashing a website down below, as you can see. Actually, just telling you to Google it and look at Wikipedia. But there's fresh Atlantic cod and fresh Pacific cod. Here on the East Coast, we're obviously using fresh Atlantic cod. And my fishmonger actually had fresh Atlantic cod. It was already filleted for me, so it didn't have to wait or anything like that. You can actually go and pick it up. He had filleted this morning. Not for me, but that's how they sell it, already in pieces. So it is fresh. And it's great. So I'm going to pull one out. I'm going to show you how we cut it and get it ready to put into the batter and then fry it. Okay? So I'm going to move this back down. All right. And there is the knife that, well, it's pretty dangerous. But, all right, I'm going to move this stuff out of the way. Take one more sip of my beer before I do this. Make sure you're not drunk when you're using a knife that size. Obviously, just kidding. Well, sort of kidding. Anyway, I'm going to take out the piece of cod that I have. This is the first one. Okay. You can see it is a pretty nice size white fish. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut it into pieces, smaller pieces, obviously, so you can, dip it in the batter and then fry it. Okay. So you don't want to cut it this way, because this way will actually make it fall apart. You want to cut it this way. So we're just going to cut it down into pieces. Okay, just like that. You can see part of this is thicker than others, so those are going to take a little longer to... Actually, let me go over here and cut some of this. This thin piece will take a very short amount of time to fry. The thicker pieces will take a little more time to fry, and that's really what we want to do. I mean, it's going to take as long as it takes. You want to do it until it is actually golden brown and crunchy. So as you can see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. These small little pieces here. So we got about 11 pieces of fish. You want to take the pieces of fish, okay, before they batter, and you want to put just a little bit of pepper on it. Okay, just a little bit of pepper. Forgot about that step. I swear it's not the beer. And just a little bit of sea salt grinder, just a very slight touch before you dip it, okay? So that's pretty much it. That's all you want to do for that. So, all right, sit tight, and I'm going to move the camera, and we'll take a look at what we do next. All right? Be right back. All right, and we're back. I'm getting ready now. I'm going to put the oil in the fryer, and then we'll turn it on, get that nice and hot so we can actually fry the fish. But before we do that, about halfway through cooking the french fries, I'm just going to take a quick look to see how they're doing. They're doing fine. Nothing real special. Again, frozen french fries on a cookie sheet in the oven, real easy to do. So, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move the camera down. I'm going to show you our next step of getting the oil ready. So, let me put it down here just a little bit. All right. All right, you see our, let me get, actually, let's pull my oil, get my beer, get another drink of beer here. All right, got my fryer here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the basket out first, and I'm going to just open up, again, I'm using just canola oil for the frying. You can use, olive oil doesn't really make for good deep frying. You know, olive oil is very, very thin, very good when it's heated, but it doesn't do really well for frying, for deep frying. So canola oil is really, really good. Probably one of the more healthy oils for deep frying. Vegetable oil, not as healthy, but works fine. Peanut oil works very, very well in frying. However, you got to be sure of your audience and make sure they don't have peanut allergies. So I'm going to use canola oil, a nice, good oil. So I'm going to go ahead and pour in. Basically, I'm going to pour in until I get about half of the frying pan, or the fryer, or about a quarter of the frying pan, or fryer, done. And to test it, real quick, if you want to test it, you just take the basket and put it in, and it's perfect. Okay? Actually, I'll just leave it in there because now it's got oil on the bottom. But anyway, what I'm going to do, actually, I shouldn't do that. What I'm going to do now is I am going to turn on the stove and get that to heat up. I'm going to put it in about medium, okay? And let it slowly heat up. You don't want it to heat up too quickly because you don't want it to pop and make a giant mess. So we'll let that heat up, and then we'll come back and we will dip the fish in the batter and deep fry it and go from there. Okay? So sit tight. Real quick, you can see what I did was also I got a plate ready for the fish in the back with some paper towel, basically just to have the fish drain a little bit. And I have it on my warming in the back. And I also moved the basket onto a plate because, again, it's dripping with oil. So put it onto a plate so it'll the oil heat up a little better. So just wanted to show you what we've done so far. I'm going to move this actually back because we're going to move the batter over here. And get it all nice and ready to go. So, and while you're sitting here, you can actually do another stir because it will start to separate. The beer will start to separate from the flour and the egg and whatnot. So you can give it another quick stir, and you want to give it another quick stir before you actually dip the as well. So, all right, I'll be right back, and we'll show you the next steps. Oh, and real quick, the fries are going to be done here probably before the oil heats up. So I'm going to take the fries out. Actually, I'll let them sit in the oven, but I'm going to just turn the oven off and let them sit and in there and stay warm. So we won't actually see those until the very end. All right? So sit tight. All right, and we're back. Real quick, I did check the French fries are not quite done yet. So we're going to let them sit in there. I'm going to keep them on the 450 and not the warming. You can hear, probably hear the oil is starting to pop a little bit. So it's perfect. I also grabbed a top just to cover it to keep from splattering. There's actually not a top to this specific fryer because, well, let's be honest, I broke it. So anyway, so I got something to kind of makeshift. But anyway, so now what we're going to do is we're going to stir up the batter one more time. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach over and I'm going to grab my fish. Okay? Again, there's the fish as we saw before. Okay, and I'm going to take a couple pieces. I'm going to take just a pair of tongs, okay, and I'm going to take the tongs and I'm going to submerge it in the fish, or submerge the fish in the batter, okay, and then what I'm going to do, kind of drip off the excess, and I'm going to put it in the basket. Now with this, you do not want to double up the fish, so you want to do it just enough where the fish is not touching each other, okay. And you want to do it, I'm going to keep just dipping the fish in here, okay? And you want to do it so because if it touches each other, the batter could come off and it also may not cook all the way through. So I'm going to take this, it's a big piece actually, so this will probably be enough for this one. And dip it in there, put it alongside there. And I'm going to move this aside real quick. And I'll end up using those tongs again, I'll just rinse them off. So as you can see, okay, 4 pieces in there, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put it in the oil, okay, and let it cook. Cover it up, And you want to cook it till it's golden brown. That's all you got to do. So while it's doing that, I'm going to rinse this off real quick. And just let it cook until it's golden brown. You can see right through the top, which is good. Again, there's really no reason for the top other than to keep it from splattering all over the place. And it just makes a giant mess if you do it that way. This way, it kind of splatters on the top and it's fine. So it's in there, it's cooking. When it's golden brown, it's done. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of my beer. I almost said take a little more of my Pinot Grigio because I'm so used to saying that. But again, pub food calls for beer. And not a wine. So let that cook. You're going to watch it. It takes anywhere from, about 5 minutes or so to cook. Could take a little longer depending on the thickness of the fish. But again, that batter is really going to tell you when it's done. Okay, and if you want to check it, you take the top off and you just kind of lift it up a little bit. Look at it. Not done yet. Because you want it to be a golden brown. Okay? That's how you know for sure it's cooked all the way through. Okay? And it is cooking, and you shouldn't have to add any oil to this, by the way, throughout the, you should be able to do the entire dinner with one set of oil. So while that's cooking, I'm going to move this up real quick. Hi there. All right, so, and then when you're done with the oil, by the way, please, please, please do not pour it down your drain in your house. A couple reasons. One, it's bad for the environment, and I don't typically talk about environment here, and I don't want to get into any kind of political thing, but it really is bad for the environment to do that. It's also horrible for your household pipes because if it should cool in there and turn into more of a solid, it's going to clog your pipes. And it's going to cost you a ton of money to clean them out. So don't do that. Put it into an old coffee can or a glass jar when it cools off, whatnot, and dispose of it properly in the garbage or whatnot. So that's just a quick tidbit. Don't pour the oil down the drain. Again, you want to let it cool off before you put it into anything. Also, French fries. There's a couple different things you can go with the French fries. Typically, a pub dinner like this would look for like a vinegar for the French fries. But I've said this before. I'm from Pittsburgh originally, so, and all of you who are watching, I hope you're excited for Pittsburgh. Heinz. There is no better ketchup. There's no such thing as Hunt's ketchup. There's no such thing as, and I'm sorry, I love Aldi, but there's no such thing as Aldi ketchup. Heinz is the only ketchup in the world. So make sure you use Heinz just because I'm from Pittsburgh and it's a Pittsburgh brand. So anyway, or if you don't want to do it, you want to use the vinegar with the fries, that's good too. Heinz does make a good French fry vinegar. So keep that in mind. But anyway, I'm going to take a look at the fries while that's still cooking. The fries are just about done. So what I'll do when the timer goes off, I'm just going to turn it out to warm to keep them in there. And then we'll keep looking at the fish. And I'm going to move the camera back down. So hold on a second. All right. So that's done. So I'm going to turn timer off and I'm going to turn it to warm. Okay. So let's take a look and see what it looks like. Almost done. I know I just pulled up so I can go almost done. Once this one's done, I'm gonna then we'll take it out, put it on the warming plate, and then I'll stop us and we'll do the rest of the fish, and then show you what it looks like when the food's all done. So just stay here for another minute or so. It should be done. I did rinse off my tongs already. I'm gonna take this off. And I'm gonna take. You can see. Crispy, it actually comes across, but that's what it looks like when it's done. Nice and golden brown, okay? So it's, I should actually take that out. But anyway, that's what it looks like, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the fish, and then we will put it all on the plate and show you what it looks like. So sit tight, all right? All right, we're back. The fish is still cooking, but I have enough to show you what it looks like when it's done. So I'm going to reach over. I grabbed some French fries. Yeah, let me show you the French fries. So I really did grab some French fries. Not great. There we go. There we go. Grab some French fries. I'm going to salt to taste. Sorry about that. I'm going to basically just put a little bit of sea salt on there. Okay. A little sea salt. I'm going to get my Heinz ketchup. ready. Okay. I'm going to just put a little bit there. Okay. And I'm going to take just a piece of fish. Okay. And you can see, let me show you what it looks like when it's done. You can see golden brown. Okay. Just regular good old pub food. The other pieces are still cooking. Move that back up here. I'm going to take my fork. And there's really no reason to salt and pepper this afterwards. So I'm going to take a piece of it. Oh yeah, it's amazing. Tastes just like you're in Ireland with fish and chips. So take one of my French fries and my Heinz ketchup, and it's fantastic. Put this down over here. Phoebe is standing by to try and snag some of this, but anyway, so that's it. It did take a little longer in the fryer than we expected, but that's okay. The whole dinner, top to bottom, takes less than an hour. Between making the batter, cutting the fish, heating up the oil, getting the French fries, everything ready. So less than an hour, and you still have a great date night. Again, not real fancy. You're not making steaks or chicken or anything like this, or a special fish dish or whatnot. Date nights are about who you're spending it with, and also having food that you really like. So pub food is a great comfort food. Real easy to make, as you can see. The beer batter, real simple to make. So really, it's just really about finding what you like. So again, keep those recipe ideas coming. Keep those requests coming. Keep those ideas and thoughts coming. Keep the comments coming. And I hope you really enjoyed this episode. I'm going to finish making this fish, and I'm going to get my wife to come down from the kids. She's still reading them stories. And we're going to have a great date night. We're going to enjoy some fish and chips, beer battered fish and chips. So again, thank you all for watching. It's been a great episode. I really enjoyed making this one, and I hope you loved it too. So I will see you next time, next Saturday, 8 o'clock. Remember, every Saturday, 8 o'clock on Cooking with Michael. Thank you so much, and have yourself a great, great date night.